Congratulations! You've now completed all of the training activities. You may be asking yourself, where do I go from here? Now what? First of all, you will want to return to your dashboard. You can do so by clicking on the dashboard from your left-hand menu. Once you're at your dashboard, which is like a command center for your company, you may want to look at the team roster to identify whether this is a team-based activity or individual. If it is a team-based activity, your first course of action should be to communicate with your team. Next, you may want to check out our resources within Help and Support. You can do so by going up to the top right of your screen and clicking on Help and Support. From here, you are able to view the welcome video, how to run your company video, introduction PowerPoint, decision-making PowerPoint, how to save, and the 6 basic strategies. Before you start making decisions, it is very important that you review the 6 basic strategies document and that you pick a strategy. It's important to keep in mind that all strategies are successful when implemented correctly. Help and Support also contains the user guide. The user guide is somewhat of an owner's manual that you may use to answer your specific questions. Once you've picked a strategy, you can go back to your dashboard. From your dashboard, to start making decisions, you would click on Simulation from your left-hand menu. Now that we've opened up the simulation, there are 4 basic departments: research and development, marketing, production, and finance. When starting out, the scenario that you are in is that you have one product that is located directly in the middle of 2 segments, low-tech and high-tech. Each segment has different customer buying criteria, which we can view at the bottom of our screen here, low-tech, and to view the customer buying criteria for high-tech, we can click on high-tech, and it will display the customer buying criteria for the high-tech segment. If I was implementing a cost leader strategy, within research and development, I would look at things that would cater to the low-tech segment. Specifically, I would look at things that may reduce my costs, such as reducing reliability, perhaps adopting a more trailing edge positioning. If I was implementing a differentiator strategy, I may do the opposite, focus more on reliability, and I may have more leading edge positioning. This is also where we would introduce a new product by clicking on this new product button here. We would select from the available names and click Add Product. From here, we would want to identify where the opportunities lie and where a new product would best be suited. We would adjust the performance, size, and reliability for the segment that we are targeting. You may have questions while you are making the decisions. For example, if I have a question about agent revision, I can click on the Information button, and information appears that explains what the agent revision means. Before we move on to the next department, we want to save our decisions. To save our decisions, we would click on File from our top right-hand corner, and then click on Save Decisions. If we are working on a team, we may want to save just for our department. So we would select Research and Development, and then click on Save. Once we are ready to move on to marketing, we would click on the Marketing tab from our top menu. We can see that our new product is not ready to sell yet because it is still in development. To change to our existing product, Product Able, we would click on Able. Here, this is where we adjust the price, promo budget, sales budget, and forecast. We can also view the customer buying criteria and the segment demand for each segment on the bottom right. Note that as we make changes to the promo budget and sales budget, our projected awareness and accessibility shifts. To view awareness or accessibility, we would click on the Gray tab. It is always important to keep your strategy in mind as you are going through decisions. If you are a cost leader, you may not be as aggressive with your promo and sales budgets. You are likely more aggressive with price, offering lower prices to attract more customers. It is valuable to keep in mind that even as a cost leader, you would want to cut your costs before lowering price. Depending on our price, promo budget, sales budget, and forecast, the summary below our products will display projections based on all of those metrics. We can see our projected gross revenue, variable costs, contribution margin, fixed costs, and net margin. Keep in mind, these figures are entirely based on your forecast. Now that we're ready to move on to production, we would want to save. We would click on File from our top right-hand corner and then click on Save Decisions. If we are working on a team, we would want to click on Marketing. If we were working on our own, we could click Save All Decisions. Now we're ready to move to production. Within our production page, we are able to view our forecast, inventory on hand, production after adjustment, and plant utilization. To adjust our production schedule, we would move the slider to the left or to the right. It's important to keep in mind that we do not want to produce just for our forecast. We probably want to have a little bit extra in case we have more demand than we anticipate. Our forecast is 1,300. Inventory on hand, 87. The most in inventory that we would want to have on hand would be 3 months, or 25%. We can shift that slightly to the right to produce 1,350 units so that just in case we have a little more demand than we anticipate, we would be able to capture those sales. Within production, this is also where we adjust the capacity and automation. Keep in mind that any increase in capacity and any change to automation does take an entire year to implement. If we are inventing a new product, in order to manufacture and sell that new product next year, we would need to purchase capacity and automation this year. Capacity is how many units we can produce in one shift in 1 year. We are able to use 2 shifts, meaning we can schedule production for 2 times the amount of our capacity. Automation represents the ratio of machines per physical employee. The higher the automation, the lower the labor costs, and the higher your contribution margin. However, the higher the automation, the longer each revision project will take. We are also able to view our projected margins below. We're able to see second shift production, price, our variable costs, and our contribution margin. Once we are ready to move on to finance, we would then again click File and Save Decisions. Now that we have opened up the finance department, our primary concern would be closing cash position. It is very important that you end the year with positive cash. If not, you will obtain an emergency loan. There are 3 ways that we can raise funds. We can borrow current debt, we can borrow long-term debt, or we can issue common stock. If we are in an extremely comfortable cash position, we may also consider retiring bonds and buying back stock. We can also issue dividends. It is very important to keep in mind that your closing cash position is entirely based on your forecast. If your forecast is accurate, your closing cash position will also be accurate. If your forecast is not accurate, the closing cash position may be very different than what actually occurs. Once we are done with the finance department, we're ready to save our final decisions. We can now click on Save All Decisions. Now, before we exit and go back to our dashboard, we may want to take a look at our performance. Our performance are projections based on our forecast. To view the performance, we would want to click on Reports from our top menu, and then Performa. Again, keep in mind that your Performa is entirely based on your forecast. If your forecast is accurate, then the figures displayed within your Performa will also be accurate. Just because the information displayed on your Performa is a certain way does not mean it will 100% occur. If the information on your Performa is not what you expected, and you want to make improvements to certain areas, you can always go back and adjust some of your decisions. If you are satisfied with the projections, you can click on Exit to go back to your dashboard. To double check if you have made decisions or not, you can view Decision Uploaded under Team Roster. If your professor has input deadlines for each round, you would see them here under Schedule. If you are working individually and your professor has implemented the self-paced option, once you save decisions, the option to advance to the next round will appear here under Schedule. To advance to the next round, you would click on the green Advance button and then follow the prompt. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your simulation.